Nawrocki has been the president of Poland for 100 days. It has been a period of intense work for Poland and its citizens. Karol Nawrocki summed up the first period of his presidency in the way he likes best, close to the people, proving that his campaign slogan, consisting of words Poland first, Poles first, were not just empty words.
Dochowam wierności postanowieniom konstytucji.
I will remain faithful to the provisions of the Constitution. I will steadfastly protect the dignity of the nation, the independence and security of the state, and the welfare of the homeland, and the prosperity of its citizens will always be my highest priority. So help me God. At this moment, exactly 100 days ago, Karol Nawrocki's presidency began. From the very first moments, he reminded everyone who he would represent as the first person in the state.
Wolny wybór wolnego narodu.
The free choice of a free nation has brought me before you today. It has brought me before you in spite of election propaganda, lies, political theater, and the contempt I encountered on my way to the office of President of Poland. Karol Nawrocki ran his campaign among the people. He is among them as president too, like today in Minsk Mazowiecki. Each of these 100 days, my dear friends, was a day of great love for Poland and for Poles, and it was not only the fulfillment of my campaign slogan, but also a commitment for me, and that commitment was that I repeated in every decision I made, Poland first, Poles first. Poles appreciate these first 100 days of the presidency.
Bardzo dobrze.
Very good. Finally, we have the president we deserve.
Spełnia moje oczekiwania.
So far, he meets my expectations. He doesn't give in to Bodnar and Żurek's followers, so I'm definitely satisfied. It must be said that he is very active when it comes to his international meetings. In addition, 11 bills have been submitted to the Sejm. These include yes to the central transportation port, electricity minus 33%, yes to Polish ports, protection of rural areas, and counteracting Bandera ideology. This is an act of presidency not only on the part of Karol Nawrocki, but also the First Lady and the President's office. During these 100 days, the President signed 70 bills into law and vetoed 13. He appointed 22 officers to general ranks and appointed 64 judges and assistant judges. This week, the Polish president refused to nominate 46 judges, emphasizing that for the next 5 years, no judge who questions the constitutional powers of the president, the Polish constitution, and the Polish legal system can count on nomination and promotion. Whether the Minister of Justice likes it or not, he has the right to do so. However, in response to the deepening chaos in the judiciary, a council for the restoration of the state system, which the president promised to establish, will begin work in the coming weeks. This presidency is taking place not only in Poland, but also beyond its borders. The Polish president has made 11 foreign visits in 100 days, including 2 to the United States and 1 to Lithuania. At the beginning of December, the president will take part in the Visegrad Group Summit, visit Budapest, and travel to Prague later this month. Despite his many responsibilities, the president also found time to meet with children, whom he promised at the beginning of the school year that he would visit them and get some kebabs. According to Karol Nawrocki's closest associates, no one at the presidential palace intends to slow down. We can certainly expect the president to visit more Polish towns and cities. During his first 100 days, Polish President Karol Nawrocki made 20 visits within the country. This is not an information board, but a guidepost for Pentagon policy.
There we go.
The U.S. Navy is on standby in the Caribbean Sea. Its capabilities have been increased over the past few weeks. Both an aircraft carrier and a group of destroyers are in place. Bombers and multi-role fighters are in the air. All this was in preparation for the launch of Operation Southern Spear. President Trump ordered action, and the Department of War is delivering. Today I'm announcing Operation Southern Spear, led by Joint Task Force Southern Spear and the U.S. Southern Command. This mission defends our homeland, removes narco-terrorists from our hemisphere, and secures our homeland from the drugs that are killing our people. The Western Hemisphere is America's neighborhood, and we will protect it. Until now, the Pentagon has specifically targeted smugglers. Boats transporting drugs to the U.S. coast have been destroyed. At the same time, however, political pressure on Venezuela and Colombia has been growing. Washington has made unequivocal accusations against Caracas.
And a lot of the Venezuelan drugs come in through the sea, so you get to see that. But we're going to stop them by land also.
Hence the growing belief that the Americans may strike Venezuela. It is not known whether this will be by air or by land invasion. It is possible that special operations will also be carried out directly in western Venezuela, where the cartel's factories are located. However, the #1 enemy is Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro.
He is one of the largest narco traffickers in the world and a threat to our national security. Therefore, we've doubled his reward to $50 million. Under President Trump's leadership, Maduro will not escape justice, and he will be held accountable for his despicable crimes.
Warnings and threats from Washington do not go unheard in Venezuela. In fact, given what Maduro is doing, he seems confident of an impending confrontation. Earlier this week, he signed a national defense bill calling for unity and readiness to defend the country. Upon signing this law, all integral defense commands, which bring together all public institutions of the Venezuelan state, military institutions, and all popular power, will begin to operate. However, Venezuela's real defense capabilities are limited. The differences in equipment are enormous, and support for Maduro himself outside the capital is minimal. Therefore, the dictator has already called on the army to prepare for guerrilla warfare in the event of an invasion and to join the resistance movement if pro-American opposition groups take over the capital. According to analysts, if the Americans strike Venezuela at all, they will limit themselves to precision strikes on drug gang bases without engaging ground forces. This concerns a fragment from the documentary film Trump: A Second Chance from January 6, 2021. During the editing of the material, his words were manipulated by combining two different statements into one.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell.
And this is how the original statement by the American president sounded.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
The second part of the statement, which was added by the BBC, came after 54 minutes.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we fight. We fight like hell.
The second part of Trump's statement did not concern the Capitol, but the fight for the most important values. On November 11th, on Fox News, President Trump said he had a duty to sue the BBC for misrepresenting his words. Earlier, the CEO and head of BBC News resigned.
Are you going ahead and suing the BBC?
Well, I guess I have to. You know, why not? Because they defrauded the public, and they've admitted it. And their top echelon,
Director General and the CEO
this
both
is
resigned.
within, and they made it sound radical, and they actually changed it. What they did was rather incredible. They're showing me the results later on, the results of what they did, how they butchered it up. But it was very dishonest, and the head man quit, and a lot of the other people.
In consultation with his legal team, President Trump has demanded that the BBC issue a correction and apology, as well as $1 billion in damages, because the false statement broadcast by the BBC reached tens of millions of viewers and digital media users.
Good afternoon, everybody. The president has made it very clear that this is a leftist propaganda machine that is unfortunately subsidized by British taxpayers, and he thinks that's extremely unfortunate for the great people of the United Kingdom. And dishonest editing of his speech that was so clearly fake news.
The station was given until 11 p.m. today to admit to the manipulation. Otherwise, it faces a $1 billion lawsuit. A few hours later, the station issued an official apology. Lawyers for the BBC have written to President Trump's legal team in response to a letter received on Sunday. BBC Chair Samir Shah has separately sent a personal letter to the White House, making clear to President Trump that he and the corporation are sorry for the edit of the president's speech on the 6th of January 2021, which featured in the program. The BBC has no plans to rebroadcast the documentary Trump: A Second Chance on any BBC platform. While the BBC sincerely regrets the manner in which the video clip was edited, we strongly disagree there is a basis for a defamation claim. British Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy praises the BBC's decision to apologize for defamation and calls for changes to the organization's procedures to return to high journalistic standards.
I can tell you that I've been working very closely with the BBC leadership. I've been speaking to the chairman and other senior leaders in the BBC daily over the last week, and I think they are treating this seriously. They have gripped it. They are right to apologise for what were serious mistakes, and they are right to have sought legal advice in order to respond robustly on that point. But there's also the right mix of journalistic experience to ensure that the highest editorial standards are upheld going forwards.
The allegations came to light thanks to a leak of a report by the BBC's standards officer. Founded in 1922 and funded mainly by license fees paid by British taxpayers, BBC remains without a CEO, and the government is considering how it should be funded in the future. King Charles III just turned 77. The birthday party at Cyfarthfa Castle, one of Wales' most important monuments built 200 years ago, was a surprise. The royal couple was greeted by guests who sang happy birthday. The monarch was also delighted with a large birthday cake in the shape of a castle. The past year has been marked by significant personal successes for the British king, unfortunately overshadowed by family feuds, especially the scandal involving his younger brother Andrew. From his rapprochement with U.S. President Donald Trump to the first rapprochement in 5 centuries between the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church during his visit to the Vatican. Born in Birmingham in 1948, the monarch spent most of his life watching with dignity and patience as his mother, Queen Elizabeth, broke record after record during her 70-year reign. When he finally became king, it turned out that he was ill and required immediate treatment. In the meantime, the first signs of reconciliation in his relationship with his younger son Harry also appeared. Usually, the royal family's birthday celebrations took place at Buckingham Palace and were talked about all over the world. But this year, Charles III and Queen Camilla decided to celebrate differently, without the glare of the cameras, away from the royal glitz. The birthday visit to Wales has a symbolic dimension. It was there that he learned Welsh in his youth and received the title of Prince of Wales. Now he has returned there as king.